If it were me, I'd want to fill my husband's plate with things he loves. Like his favorite fried chicken, or I'm also good at making ginger pork," said a woman working at Ryan's workplace, with her competitive spirit on full display. This was supposed to be a friendly barbecue event. Knowing full well that I am his wife, what a way to assert dominance. Naturally, I couldn't just ignore this. Asking Ryan got me nothing but feigned ignorance. Amidst all this, Maria collapsed in the bathroom, but Ryan acted as if he didn't know. Unbelievable for a father. I had a bad feeling, so I set a trap at home. I'm sure these clueless people will slip up. I'm looking forward to seeing what I'll do then. It'll be too late for regrets when the time comes, but I wonder if those two will realize it. My name is Julie Turner. I'm a 38-year-old housewife, but during the day, I work as a salesperson at an office supplies company. Many people spend a lot of time in offices, so I joined this company thinking that using comfortable office supplies could make work more enjoyable. At 30, filled with enthusiasm at my first promotion, the job I was assigned to was related to an office move. The person I frequently met as the client's representative turned out to be my future husband, Ryan. I'm so glad I asked Julie for help. Thank you. Ryan, usually so talkative, hesitated, which made me think something was up. What's wrong, Ryan? Well, it's just that, Julie, you're so good at your job. And I love my job. Even on my days off, I find myself thinking about work. Then Ryan stood up suddenly, his face turning bright red as he looked at me. Would you like to have dinner with me on your next day off? I was surprised by the sudden invitation, but Ryan looked very serious. The office move is progressing well. Soon, I won't get to talk to you anymore. No worries, our company is fully committed to after-sales service, so if there's anything you need, we'll be right there for you. It's not about that, I just want to talk to Julie about things other than work. I want to get to know you better. I've never met anyone who expressed their feelings so directly before. The people I've dated in the past were more like, it just happened, and we kind of just ended up together. It was such an ambiguous relationship that it could even be described as fading away, so much so that I never quite understood what it meant to like someone. But seeing Ryan shaking and turning bright red as he directly expressed his feelings, I reconsidered everything up to now. Maybe this is what liking someone feels like. We confirmed our feelings for each other, and got married just before I turned 31. 2 years after we got married, when I was 32, our daughter Maria was born, and the three of us have been living happily together. However, a dark shadow was cast over our everyday life. One day, when Ryan came home from work, he asked me, "Hey, is there anything happening on the first Sunday of next month?" Sunday? Nothing in particular, why? There's a company social gathering next time. It's a family-friendly barbecue, wanna come with Maria? Saying that, Ryan handed me a piece of paper with the email printed on it. A social gathering, huh? This is the first I've heard of it. Have these events happened before? There have been social gatherings before, but Julie seemed busy with work or childbirth, so I didn't invite you. Ryan talks about his workplace a lot, so I wanted to meet the colleagues he mentions. I don't have plans for that day, so I might as well join. Maria has never been to a barbecue before, so it's a good opportunity. Great, then it's decided. I'll sign us up. It'll be Julie, Maria, and me attending. Yay, I'm looking forward to it. On the day of the barbecue, we were blessed with great weather, a perfect autumn day. Mom, I'm really looking forward to the barbecue. Me too. Let's make sure we don't bother anyone. Okay, I know. Ryan had some preparations to do, so he went to the barbecue site ahead of us. I was chatting with Maria while looking for Ryan. Hey! Over here! It seemed like everyone had brought their families or significant others, making it quite a large group. I was worried we might get lost. Don't worry, I told you, didn't I? Can I introduce you to someone real quick? Ryan invited me over and introduced me to a group that seemed to be his colleagues and subordinates. Everyone was so friendly and easy to talk to. I was having a great time. Maria seemed to be having just as much fun, even more lively than usual. Everyone's so nice. Do you like the barbecue? Yeah. It's fun. Warner and Jack, Dad's friends, said they'd play with me. Can I go? Just don't go too far, okay? Make sure you listen. I know. I'll be back. Maria seemed particularly fond of Warner and Jack, Ryan's subordinates. Both of them had relatives around Maria's age and seemed experienced in handling kids. After making our rounds and saying hello, I decided to take a break on a bench when someone approached me. A petite woman with a bob haircut was standing in front of me. You're with Ryan's company, right? Your name was Riker Newhall. Oh no, did you forget already? Riker was giggling and fluttering her hands as she laughed. She said she was from the company, but she looked quite young. I'm always grateful to my manager, Ryan. He's always so kind, makes me want to follow him. That's the kind of boss he is. Is that so? I'm glad to hear that, makes me happy too. Riker was smiling and waving her smartphone around. However, that cute smile suddenly seemed scary for a moment. I don't know why, but I had a bad feeling. Ryan's wife is so easy to talk to. Hey, since we're here, why don't we exchange contact info? Sure, that's fine. I found myself exchanging contact information, pushed by her momentum. Could this be a woman's intuition? Something about Riker's way of speaking, her demeanor, felt off. Do you use social media? Would it be okay if I send you a friend request? We had just met, and she's already talking about connecting on social media. I was honestly perplexed, wondering if this is just how younger people are. I don't really check that stuff much. That's okay. I sent you a friend request, so please accept it. While we were talking, she managed to use her phone without me noticing, and it made a light popping sound. It was the sound of a friend request from Riker. Alright, I'll just press this accept button here. Thank you so much. Looking forward to keeping in touch. Then, as soon as she put her phone away, she slapped her palm as if she just remembered something. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you something, is that okay? What's up? Doesn't Ryan's lunchbox seem a bit girly to you? I was taken aback by her sudden question, realizing she was talking about the homemade lunches I prepare for him on workdays. It's mostly salads and vegetables, right? Ryan always says it's hard to eat because it's all veggies. A couple of years ago, Ryan's health checkup showed some areas of concern, so I've been making his lunches with a focus on vegetables. Men probably prefer something more substantial, don't you think? She said this with a smile, making a small fist pump. If it were me, I'd fill my husband's lunchbox with things he loves, like fried chicken or ginger pork. I'm pretty good at those. Suddenly, her unasked for advice seemed misplaced. As his wife, I take pride in managing Ryan's health, which is why I carefully balance vegetables with meat or fish in his lunches. But then I realized. Riker's look at me was challenging. She didn't just see Ryan as a supervisor. It was either romantic feelings or something else I couldn't quite pinpoint. Normally, you wouldn't approach a wife enjoying a friendly barbecue and say such things. For now, I decided to respond neutrally. Well, I guess you have a point. I wanted to wrap up the conversation quickly. It was about time to go pick up Maria. It wouldn't be right to keep Mr. Watanabe and Mr. Sato looking after her for too long. Just as I was thinking this, Maria came towards us, with Mr. Watanabe and Mr. Sato walking a short distance behind, watching over her. As I was about to go to Maria, I heard Riker mutter something under her breath. Yeah, this should be fine. I was about to ask her to repeat herself when Maria called me. Hey, Mom. I played a lot. It was so much fun. Oh, did you have a good time? That's great. We need to thank Warner and Jack. While having that exchange, I missed the chance to ask Riker what her earlier comment meant. Before I knew it, Riker was nowhere to be seen. I was curious about what her "it's fine" meant, but without her around, there was no way to ask. Honestly, thinking about Riker made me feel uneasy. That's because I checked with Ryan after that barbecue. Hey, is Riker your subordinate? Riker? I noticed Ryan's eyes darting around, which was concerning. He had never shown such behavior when talking about work before. Yes. She's a temp who came in, doesn't talk much, but she's around. Ryan went on to talk about this and that, but honestly, I wasn't really listening. He seemed like he was hiding something. About a month after that barbecue, Ryan came home on time, which was unusual. Normally, he would stay late at work. That's because Ryan tends to think that working overtime is just part of the job. We've had conversations about his overtime before. Man, all this overtime is exhausting. Rushing to catch the last train, I've had enough. It's tough with all that overtime. But with more subordinates coming in, maybe your workload will lighten up? No way. Can't just delegate everything. Plus, I've only been a manager for a month, can't be leaving early, right? For someone who had those conversations, coming home on time felt odd. You're home early today. Something happen? No, not really. Just thought I should spend more time with the family. Is that weird? It was nice to have him home early for a change, given that his work hours have been long since we got married, and he hadn't had much time with Maria on weekdays. So, I'm gonna try to come home earlier from now on. Can help Maria with her homework and even bathe her. That would be nice. Maria would be happy, right? Then, I thought I saw Maria twitch slightly. Yeah, sure. How about I give you a bath now? I watched Ryan and Maria head to the bath, then opened my smartphone. It's become a habit to check my phone at 7 p.m. for any work-related messages. Today, there were no messages. I could have just closed my phone, but I noticed an app update for social media and logged in after a long while. I don't usually use social media, so the interface felt unfamiliar after so long. That's when I saw a post from Riker, who had sent me a friend request after the barbecue, and I became somewhat curious about what was written. There were subtle hints of another person's presence, like another plate slightly in the frame or two shadows aligned. It seemed like she was with someone other than her. I could have stopped looking there, but I found myself scrolling through her other posts and past activities. I can't explain why I was so drawn into peering into someone else's daily life. But I can only describe it as having had some kind of premonition. Then, a particular post caught my eye. Wait, what's this? No way. The post seemed ordinary. We're working hard at our study session with the person I admire, read the caption, accompanied by a photo of a notebook and pen. But in the corner of the photo, there was a pen that looked like it belonged to Ryan. Could I be mistaken? But maybe it was just a pen he lent her. I wanted evidence that nothing was going on between Riker and Ryan. However, I found a decisive photo. The caption "Hope we can always be together" was attached to a diary-like post in what appeared to be a hotel room. But unmistakably, in the corner of the photo was Ryan's wallet. I wanted to believe it was a mistake. Yet, there was a definite reason I could say it was Ryan's. I had custom ordered it for him, choosing the lucky color based on his birth date and that year's fortune. It was quite a unique shade, impossible to mistake. This meant Riker and Ryan were in the same room. The hotel name was even written. And this post saying, "I hope we can always be together," seemed quite meaningful. I was almost certain from this social media post, but without concrete evidence, there wasn't much I could do, so I decided to check with Ryan. Ryan, can I ask you for a favor? What's the favor? I need to visit a client tomorrow, can I borrow your transit card? I usually drive when I visit clients, so I don't have a transit card. Ryan commutes by train and walking, so he naturally has one. The weather is supposed to be clear tomorrow. Plus, I plan to come straight home after work, so you can use it tomorrow. Thanks. I'll borrow it then. I connected the borrowed card to the card reader attached to our home computer. The usage history immediately appeared on the screen. Looking through it, a certain station name caught my eye. He had been using this station every 2 or 3 days. Moreover, he had suddenly stopped visiting this station about a month ago. This station is on the opposite side from his office. Then I remembered something. Among the posts Riker made on social media was one including this hotel. The hotel in the photo where Ryan's wallet was visible is nearest to this station, right? One day, Ryan was about to take Maria to the bath. But Maria seemed unwell and reluctant to join him. I'm feeling a bit sick. What? You're saying you won't take a bath? That's unhygienic. Ryan was grabbing Maria's hand, trying to lead her to the bath. I was concerned and called out to them from behind. Hey, Maria looks unwell. How about just a shower today, or I can bathe her tomorrow morning if she feels better. Then, Ryan, as if refusing my suggestion, waved his hand and continued towards the bathroom. Worried, I stayed in the living room when I heard a thud like someone collapsing. Fearing the worst, I rushed towards the bathroom and found Maria had fallen. Maria was lying on the floor, frothing at the mouth. Panicking and not knowing what to do, I watched Ryan walk past me as he got dressed. It's nothing serious, just leave it. What do you mean it's nothing serious? Just don't worry about it, it happens all the time. Saying this, he quickly went back to his study. I called after him, but Ryan didn't turn back, leaving me filled with disbelief. Then, I noticed Maria seemed to be saying something. However, I couldn't quite make out what she was saying. I leaned closer to Maria's mouth, trying to catch her words. What's wrong, Maria? Daddy, I'm sorry. I thought it couldn't be nothing, so I decided to take her to the hospital. I felt anxious until we arrived at the hospital, but the doctor's words were a wake-up call. I see, she collapsed frothing at the mouth. Yes, that's right. I wasn't in the bathroom at the time, so I didn't see her collapse. Was there anything unusual? I remembered something and told the doctor. She seemed to be apologizing to her father. I might have misheard, though. Apologizing, huh? Then, the doctor seemed to ponder for a moment before speaking to me. And where is her father? Ah, that. I couldn't just say he told me to leave it and went to his study, never to come out. As I hesitated on how to answer, the doctor seemed to sense something and said, apologizing desperately to her own father while in a state of semi-consciousness, frothing at the mouth, suggests something might have happened. You think so too, right? For now, Maria seems to be regaining consciousness and doesn't appear to have any issues. However, it might be best for her to skip school tomorrow and the day after, just to be safe. Saying this, the doctor typed no issues into her chart. But I couldn't help wondering if it was really okay to leave Maria with Ryan. What if something happens to her again? The thought made me restless, and I came to a decision. I couldn't forgive Ryan for acting as if he had nothing to do with Maria collapsing in the bathroom, pretending as if nothing was wrong. Thinking there must be some reason behind Ryan's attitude, I decided to take immediate action. Maria, how about we go to Grandma's house for a while? Can you be a good girl and listen to what Grandma says? Maria, looking unwell possibly due to her collapse, weakly nodded to my words. Holding Maria, I headed back to my parents' house. After explaining the situation to my parents, they warmly welcomed Maria. Grateful for their understanding, I decided to go back home once. I sneaked into the house and headed for the living room. At the edge of the living room, I grabbed the toy camera from the shelf and pressed the button. Though it was Maria's toy camera, modern cameras have good performance, capable of recording despite being labeled as toys. I turned on the toy camera and placed it back on the shelf. Just to be sure, I also left my unused smartphone in recording mode. This recording app syncs with my regular smartphone, so I can immediately check any recordings made. Surely, something evidential would be captured. Hoping for the best, I left the house. Then, I executed a plan. I called Ryan on his smartphone. Hey, Ryan? Remember Maria collapsed in the bath earlier? Even if she's resting, I can't look after her tomorrow morning because I have an early start. So, I've asked my parents to watch her. Ryan's voice came through, sounding strained. He must be worried about where this could lead. He was probably thinking about how to maneuver without being at a disadvantage. What about you then? I can't come back for a while, not until Maria's condition improves. You'll be okay on your own, right? Ryan's voice seemed momentarily relieved. He didn't bother hiding his relief, and his voice grew louder. Yeah. I'll be fine, so you do your thing over there. With that, the call ended. Being away from the house for a while, I expected some sort of action would occur. That night, I received a notification that the unused smartphone's recording app had activated. The recording was accessible remotely, so I immediately checked the audio, which seemed to involve Ryan and Riker. Riker's sugary, nasal voice was unmistakable. I recognized it from the barbecue, and such a voice was not something one could easily forget. In the audio, they talked about coming into the house, intending to engage in inappropriate activities. It was clear that Ryan was willing to engage in such acts without any regard for his family. Despite being married and having a daughter. Taking advantage of my and Maria's absence, they seemed to have entered the room. I had to check the video on the toy camera when I got home. Thinking about this, I was grateful for the freedom to act since I was staying at my parents' house until Maria's condition improved. Maria, Mommy will step out for a bit, but I'll be right back, okay? Maria nodded. She seemed to be feeling better compared to the day we visited the hospital. After making sure she was all right, I returned home once again. Maria was safe with my parents, so I felt reassured. Back home, I retrieved the toy camera. Despite my anxiety about potentially confronting Ryan, I figured I could just review the content right then and there if necessary. Luckily, the house was empty when I returned. Ideally, I should have checked the content back at my parents', but given the time of day and the risk of Maria seeing it, I decided to watch it there. The video on the toy camera showed Ryan and Riker. The moment I played the video, I felt nauseous. The video, which I did not want to see, continued without pause, making it harder to breathe with each passing second. Whether fortunately or unfortunately, the camera's placement captured Ryan and Riker's actions without hiding anything. Riker acting coquettishly and Ryan holding her tenderly. Their impatient actions unfolding in the living room made me rush to the bathroom. I managed to avoid vomiting in the living room but hesitated to continue watching. However, for the sake of our future and, most importantly, for Maria, I knew I had to confront Ryan and Riker. I had to settle things. With trembling hands, I pressed the rewind button on the toy camera. The video vividly showed them whispering sweet nothings like their eagerness to be together and declarations of love. Watching Ryan's expressions, I also remembered their conversations and the content on Riker's social media. That's right, I had exchanged contact information with Riker. It was time to confront her directly. Thinking I couldn't just let things slide, I decided to talk to Riker right away. Having accepted a friend request from her in the past, I was able to contact her directly via direct message. While trying to steady my trembling right hand, I navigated through my smartphone. Had operating a smartphone, something I'm so accustomed to, ever felt this difficult? I began typing words into the direct message box. I'm sorry to bother you when you're busy, but there's something I need to ask Riker. Good day. What's up? If it's something I can help with, I'm all ears. Came the reply, along with a cutesy rabbit sticker, a thin veneer of sympathy. What was she thinking, sending such a message? I hesitated about how to proceed but decided to play it down and ask Riker to meet up for a talk. I've been worried about Ryan's behavior lately, and I thought you might know something since you often talk at work. Riker then surprisingly revealed her hand, as if she was eager to share. You know, working in the same office and sharing all sorts of emotions, there are things you just come to understand. I nearly got carried away by her meaningful message but held back, sending another message instead. Indeed, we spend more time at the company than anywhere else. Since it's something I can only talk to Riker about, could you make some time to meet? No problem at all. I think I understand Ryan's situation better than anyone. How about the nearby diner? Whether she knew my intentions or not, Riker agreed to the talk. We arranged to meet at the nearby diner, and the day of our meeting arrived. From her tone, she seemed eager to spill about her relationship with Ryan. While waiting at the diner, pondering how to draw information out of her, Riker arrived. Her appearance made me wonder if she understood the gravity of our conversation. Short skirt, off-the-shoulder top. And upon closer inspection, a necklace from a famous brand. I remembered finding a receipt from this brand in Ryan's coat. With these thoughts, I looked at Riker. She suddenly switched to a smile and looked me in the eyes. Sorry I'm late. So, what did you want to talk about? Recently, Ryan has been acting strange. He won't answer anything at home. I thought maybe, since you work together, Riker might know something. I didn't miss the fleeting smirk on her face. As if she felt she had the upper hand. Oh, I don't know anything. But, he did mention he finds being at home painful and doesn't want to return. Riker looked at me with a mischievous smile. Thinking that there's no comfort at home is sad. Maybe if there's no excitement with the person you love, you don't want to go home, right? That's true. If it were me, I could be number one for Ryan. I can't accept that just because you're married or met him first makes you better. It seemed Riker was getting bored with me just listening, and she started to show her irritation. Then, glaring at me, she exclaimed, Ryan is the one who's suffering. You think so? You're saying he's suffering because he's with me? Yes. We love each other. I can make him happier. Riker looked at me with a face full of sincerity. As if to say she was the one deserving of Ryan. Was she planning to take Ryan away from me and marry him? Thinking about it made me feel insane. Well, if you're okay with someone who cheats while married, be my guest. I won't oppose it. Your leftovers? That's right. Any problem with that? I'll call Ryan now, and we can discuss what happens next. Of course. If paying me off to leave quickly means we can finally be together, it's a bargain. Riker clearly believed she would be chosen. Her bottomless confidence was almost visible. Ryan would never initiate a divorce. No, there's a significant reason Ryan can't bring himself to ask for a divorce. Thinking she's chosen without knowing that is just ridiculous. I picked up my smartphone and called Ryan. It should be his time to leave work. Ryan answered on the third ring, his voice sounding weary. What's up, it's Jolie. I'm busy with work. His voice implied there was nothing to discuss. Would he maintain that attitude if he came to the diner where I was? Just come to the diner in front of the station for a bit. A diner? Why? Ryan's voice feigned ignorance, as if he had no clue why I was asking him to come. But hearing this name, Ryan couldn't just stick to his story of ignorance. Just come. Riker will be there too. What? You haven't been fed some weird story, have you? Why don't you ask Riker? Sensing something, Ryan hurried to the diner. What's this about being with Riker? Ryan. It's me, of course. You said I was the most important to you the other day, didn't you? Riker looked at Ryan with a strong gaze. Ryan, pretending not to notice, probably wanted to just get through this. What's going on? You don't understand yet? Riker told me everything. About how you two are in love. No, this must be some mistake. A mistake? Then what's this? I played the voice recording from the app loudly. And I laid out the photos developed from Maria's toy camera. Ryan looked panicked, almost ready to kneel on the spot. It was just a fling.
It's only you, Jolie. Believe me.
A fling? I wonder what Riker thinks about that. I was astonished that people actually say such flimsy lines like in a teenage drama. For Ryan, Riker was indeed just a fling. But does he think that makes it excusable? Then, Riker, who had been listening, chimed in.
No way. You don't love your current wife. You said you're with her just to avoid childcare and such, to have someone for that.
Riker almost screamed at Ryan. I decided to confirm Ryan's words.
So I'm just here for childcare and such, not to burden Riker with it?
I was asking Ryan, but Riker leaned in as if to answer for him.
That's right, isn't it? Not wanting to burden the one you love with troublesome things, that's Ryan's kindness, right?
So, you interpret it that way. Seems like a very dreamy way of thinking, doesn't it? It's rare to find someone so detached from reality. I couldn't stop laughing. However, Riker looked confused, blinking rapidly as if she didn't understand what she wanted to say. Have you ever thought about how many decades it would take for just wait a little longer because you don't want to burden someone with childcare or elder care? No, I haven't. But as long as we have a home, it'll be okay. A home? What did you say? Riker became flustered. All her previous confidence seemed to vanish. No, it's just. Just what? Even if we got divorced and I had to pay alimony, as long as we have this house, Ryan said it would be okay. I couldn't help but burst into laughter at the absurdity of it all. Thinking to myself that I knew it. She believed Ryan's words without knowing anything about the house's deed or anything else. The house will be okay because we have it. Oh, I'm sorry for not telling you, but that house is actually in my name. It was my relative's house, and when we remodeled it, it was put under my name.
What? No way!
So, if we divorced, this man would be homeless. Of course, I'll continue living in my own house. Riker looked at me as if she hadn't heard this before. I decided to talk to Riker right away. You weren't aware, were you? You didn't think he was such a person, did you?
Was I lied to?
She suddenly stood up. Now acting as if she were the victim. Then I have to claim alimony.
Yes. How much should he pay me for alimony, considering he played with the prime years of my life and caused me emotional distress?
Riker was glaring at Ryan as if ready to fight. She seemed to be under some misunderstanding. Sorry, are you trying to get alimony from Ryan? For the emotional distress he caused by wasting the prime years of my life. What are you talking about?
I'm the one who should be claiming compensation from you for adultery.
How she concluded that she was entitled to alimony after being the one cheating and self-destructing is beyond me. At first, she seemed puzzled, but as she noticed my serious demeanor, realization dawned on her. Realizing she was in a position to be sued for alimony, Riker's face turned pale.
I have plenty of evidence here, so just be prepared for that. A lawyer will contact you, so please leave for today.
Riker left with her shoulders slumped. Beside her, Ryan muttered with a relieved expression. Man, I really got myself involved with a crazy one. In that regard, Jolie, you really make me feel at ease. Let's keep it up.
Why do you think you're getting off scot-free?
Ryan scratched his head, looking away. Well, you know what they say, after the rain comes the hard ground.
That's not a phrase for you to use, Ryan, and I can't imagine going on with you. You're not needed in my life, so please leave.
Then, Ryan clung to me.
Come on! It's over with Riker, so it should be fine, right? What, you've already put it in the past for yourself? You don't seem to grasp the seriousness of what you've done. Pack your bags today or tomorrow and leave. We're getting a divorce. Don't say that! Come on! As I told her, and you should know too, that house is in my name. Don't make me repeat myself.
In the end, I sued Riker and Ryan for alimony, and Ryan and I divorced. Riker tried to negotiate a lower amount, claiming she was just a temp and didn't have much money because she was young, but I didn't budge. Rightly so. Adults should clean up their own messes. It's somewhat sad she wasn't taught such an important lesson. Ryan was kicked out of the house we lived in and begged to be let into the company dormitory. But the company, somehow aware of our divorce drama, refused him entry. No obligation to house someone of bad conduct, it seems. Moreover, he became infamously known at work for messing with a temp, pointed at behind his back. Rumors spread at an incredible speed, and all the clients he had scattered like baby spiders. Well, he got what he deserved. Since separating from Ryan, Maria and I have been enjoying our life together. Maria vaguely remembers being neglected during her time of need. Actually, I saw Dad walking with a woman I didn't know when coming back from cram school. When I asked about it while bathing, Dad suddenly said scary things. Scary things? Like what? Maria hesitated but then, as if making up her mind, started to speak.
You'll be separated from Mom. You know what to do if you don't want that to happen, right?
I'm sorry I didn't notice, Maria. No, it's okay. It was shocking to find out Dad was that kind of person, but I'm fine because I can be with Mom. Maria said, smiling. I can't keep dwelling on the past. It's time to focus on making life with Maria as fulfilling as possible.